Ready to unravel the giants of our planet? Dive into the jaw-dropping scale of Earth's largest countries, where snow-capped Himalayas tower, rivers carve lifelines through endless wilderness, and borders stretch farther than the eye can see. This is a journey into the wild, vast heart of nations that redefine massive.
Did you know China is so big it could swallow 12 France's whole? China covers over 3 million square miles. That's the largest land area in Asia. You could fit the entire United States and still have room for Texas and Alaska left over. From tropical beaches in Hainan to icy peaks in Tibet, China has 28 distinct climate zones. It spans over 3,000 miles from east to west, more than the distance from New York to Los Angeles. You could fly from Beijing to Paris in the same time it takes to drive from Shanghai to Uremi. And it has 22,000 miles of coastline, more than the entire Mediterranean Sea. Could you drive across China? How long would it take? Guess in the comments. Did you know 1 in every 7 people on Earth lives in India? India is home to over 1 billion people, more than the entire population of Europe. The country covers over 1.3 million square miles, that's more than twice the size of Texas and Alaska combined. You could fit France, Germany, and Italy inside India, and still have room for more. From the Himalayas in the north to the tropical islands in the south, India stretches across 29 degrees of latitude. A flight from one end of India to the other takes over 6 hours, longer than flying from New York to Chicago. And here's the kicker, despite its size, India has only been a unified nation for less than 70 years. Could you drive across India? How long would it take? Guess in the comments. Did you know the United States has more rivers than any other country on Earth? The US is home to over 300,000 rivers and streams. That's 1 out of every 6 rivers in the entire world. The Mississippi River alone is longer than the Danube, Rhine, and Nile combined. If you laid all the US rivers end to end, they would stretch over 120,000 miles, enough to wrap around the Earth 5 times. The US is 4,500 miles from coast to coast. You could fit France, Germany, and Italy inside it side by side. From the icy peaks of Alaska to the sunny beaches of Florida, the US has more geographic diversity than any other nation. And if you tried to drive across the US, it would take over 40 hours, but the journey would be worth every mile. Could you drive across the US in a single day? How long would it take you? Guess in the comments. Did you know the United States is so big it could swallow 48 France's whole? The USA covers over 3 million square miles of land. That's the 3rd largest country in the world. From coast to coast, it stretches more than 3,000 miles, like driving from New York to Los Angeles and beyond. You could fit every country in Western Europe inside the lower 48 states, and still have room to spare. If you stacked France side by side, it would take 48 of them to fill the lower 48 states. That's why it takes 11 hours to fly from New York to California, and why the country has 6 different time zones. Could you drive across the USA? How long would it take? Guess in the comments. Did you know the USA is so vast that it stretches over 30,000 miles from one coast to the other? With 59 national parks, the USA has more than any other country in the world. The country spans over 3 million square miles. That's bigger than France, Germany, and Spain combined. From the icy peaks of Denali to the warm beaches of Dry Tortugas, the parks cover over 280,000 square miles. The Grand Canyon alone is bigger than 10 million football fields, and that's just one park. If Yellowstone were a country, it would be larger than Rhode Island and Delaware combined, and it's just one of 59. Could you drive across the entire country? How long would it take? Guess in the comments.